Okay, next step of the tutorial. This is kind of blade shaping part 2. Last video we covered kind of shaping the actual edge itself and how to fix the curve of it if you made any bumps or anything from cutting it out. This video is going to cover bow high, how to cut that, how to kind of fix the end of the tang so it looks a little bit nicer than just a sawed off butt end, and also how to cut the spine to be a little more accurate that way. And after that, it'll pretty much be done. So we're almost there, and then we can start with the rest of the tutorials, and it'll be great fun. So to start off, we're going to start off with the bow high. And what that is, some people call it a blood groove. That's very inaccurate. It has nothing to do with blood. What it is that it is a groove cut into the side of the blade, and what it's designed to do is remove some of the weight of the sword but still maintain the strength. So this is actually a skippable step. Not all katana have this. Some people prefer it. I actually like the look of it. It really adds a third dimension to the blade, especially in directional light. It looks amazing. And what we're going to use to cut it is a little tool we're going to make, a little bow high cutter. This was actually designed by a fellow deviant on DeviantArt, Fixinman. I'll post a link to his page in the description box because he designed it, to give him a little bit of credit for that, and also because he has a little tutorial on it there. But just to cover what this is it's a little piece of wood. This is 1/2 inch, but you can use 2 pieces of 1/4 inch, which you already bought, and glue them together. And then you can put another little piece of 1/4 inch as a guide. It can be a little bit longer too. And then it's a nail with a 1/4 inch head that's been hammered in, bent over, and then sharpened a little bit. And all it is it's used as a drag tool. Very clever, very simple, works amazing. It's great. Make yourself one, you'll love it forever. But basically what we're doing is, once you have this made, you're just putting it along the edge using your guide, and you're just dragging it along. And the sharpened head actually will cut out the bow high for you. And it's that simple. It's not 100% done, there's still a little bit left to do, but you can keep going until you're right where you want to be. So it really is an awesome tool to use, and once you've made it, you don't have to make another one. Like I said, I'll post a link in the descriptions so you can find the tutorial for this, and find Fixinman, because he's made some great pieces of art with his swords, among other things. That's not the only thing he does, so go check him out. So that's pretty much it for the bow high. You can cut it from the bottom all the way to the tip of the sword on either side, both sides if you really want. But I just like it to be halfway up myself and only on the right hand side. That's just a personal preference, like I said. So that covers the bow high. Next we're going to cover kind of filing off the end of the tang, just to kind of give it a nicer look than just a butt end. And what I mean by that is just so you kind of get an idea of the finished one. A butt end would be right there where the pencil is, and you can see there's an angle this way and an angle this way. And as you can see, that kind of makes it a little bit nicer than just a flat end on the end. How we do this, like I said, is very simple. All you're doing is you've got your butt end here. You can see I've already started on this one actually, but you can see where your butt end would be. And from there you would draw a parallel line about 1/4 inch up. And then this line right here is actually the same line that you drew earlier when you were shaping. And that's just going to be there, and that's going to be your middle point. And you're just going to draw a line from there to there, and from there to there. I already filed that one off. But you can see it's just a little arrow shape, and then you can either use a saw to cut off the corner there, or you can use a file and just file it off. And it really cleans up very nicely. So that's it for that. Another little simple trick. The last thing I'm going to cover is cutting the spine. And all I'm doing is creating a little angle on both sides, and is going to follow right up to the spine. So what you need to do is you need to draw a line right in the middle of the back of the blade, all the way up and down. That's going to cover the entire length of the sword, and it's actually also going to extend into the tang too, because we're going to cut a spine on the tang as well. And then you're going to draw a line about 1/16 of an inch in on both sides of the blade, and you're going to do that again all the way up, and you're going to do the same for the tang. From there, it's pretty simple. You can either use a file and file that angle till it gets to the middle line here and it gets to the line here, or you can just use a knife. The knife might go a little bit quicker, but if you don't trust the knife, you can just use a file and it works just as well. But like I said, you're just making a cut. And then on the other side, same thing. And so what it's going to do is it's going to come to a point right on the back there of the spine. And you're just going to have a flat line there and a flat line there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but you can just see how it's just been flattened here and flattened here. And then you would just, it helps if you touch it up with a file or just some sandpaper, just so that this is a real pronounced line. Try and keep this middle line here as straight as possible, because that's one of the main lines that you'll see when you're looking down, obviously. And that's pretty much it. And then you're going to do the same exact thing all the way up, and even to the tang, you're going to do the same exact thing, where you're just going to cut in and flatten that piece from line to line. Same thing all the way. And the reason why you have to do the tang with the spine too is for when you make the habaki. If you didn't put a spine on the tang as well, you would actually be shortening yourself about 1/16 of an inch here, and your habaki would be really fragile or weak in that point. So that's what we're trying to avoid by putting a spine on the tang and on the sword. So that pretty much covers it. If you find the bowhide cutter leaves a rough cut on your bowhide, you can actually wrap some sandpaper around a pencil or a short dowel and just kind of finish it off, make it nice and smooth. Same thing for the spine, you can take a file and finish that off. And then for the tang, again, sandpaper or file and just finish that off. And then once you're done with all of that, we'll have a piece of work that you can be proud of, and it'll be all done. And from here on out, we're done with the actual blade itself, and we're going to move on to the fittings. We're going to start off with the habaki, and after the habaki we'll move on to the seppa and the suka. So that's it, and we'll see you next video.